Now, thank you, Samad. Sounds great on JLP player with music too. Shout out to Lock Your Door. Always helpful. So white. So, as I was saying, it is 9:06 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. It's Thursday, March 25th, 2021. And I will be getting to your calls. Maze from Dayton, Ohio wants to call in and talk about Stephanie, the also known as Bagel K-word. Karen. Killian wants to talk about a ship that's blocking the Suez canal, which I saw a little headline on that from CNN. I don't know much about it, so he'll inform us. And Howard in North Carolina wants to talk race relations and all that stuff. And I have things to talk about. It's a Jim Crow against Christians and whites and Americans. And they're pretending that we're the ones who are anti-American. And it goes all the way to the military. They're doing it bad to us. What a terrible mess. Forcing Christians into the closet. They can't even be Christians outwardly right now. It's evil. Repaying back worse than was done to them. Worse than was done to them. That's a shame. Let's go ahead and fade this thing out. And you can call in. There's one line open right now. 888-775-3773. But let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you all doing? I am fine. Somebody says this sounds better, but needs boosting. That's what Emperor of Cats says. But everybody's like, sounds fine, let's just go. I appreciate the sentiment. And thank you guys for the feedback and helping making it better. Bear with us. Real quick, before I get to the calls and everything, as I hinted at, they're doing worse. By they, I mean let's call them the children of the lie, as JLP calls them. They're doing worse than what was done to them. You know, that includes the gays, the blacks, the women. It's like Jim Crow. They remember Jim Crow. It's like the Red Scare about communists. The communists are doing worse than what was done to them. Because back in the good old days, we blacklisted communists. They weren't even allowed to work in Hollywood, I heard. And the great, what's that guy's name? MacArthur or something like that? McCarthy? Is it Joe McCarthy or was it something else McCarthy? Was calling out the suspected communists. And honestly, we didn't go far enough. But anyway, somebody said, Dirk Diggler says bad audio. While Stephen Will says it's perfect. It's fine, I had to turn my receiver down, says Emperor of Cats. Interesting. We're doing it live. Forget it. But the Red Scare, the anti-communists are getting now kicked out. Have you noticed that? The family values people are on the outs right now. Whereas before, in the good old days, it was the degenerates, the perverts. Yeah. Apartheid. I think South Africa is worse today than it was during apartheid. I think. The solution, they're fake solutions. These people who are coming in with anti-racism and stuff like that. The solution is far worse. It's a more vindictive backlash than the good old days when men were men, right? Yesterday's Sunday service throwback on Jesse Lee Peterson's nonprofit channel Bond, Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel, also available in the Church with Jesse Lee Peterson podcast. It was a Father's Day 2010 Sunday service here at Bond in Los Angeles. I was there. One one lady over in that meeting that we replayed as a reprise, a throwback archive, played yesterday, said that when men ran the show, the children, when there was a divorce, which was less common, when there was a divorce, the children would go with the man. And now they go with the women. And on top of that, the women are so vindictive, they try hard to turn the children away from the father. And really, even inside of marriages, the women they play victim, they play all nice, they coddle the kids, the whole lot of mama's boys nowadays and mama's girls. And whereas the men didn't tend to, according to Jesse Lee Peterson and others, the men didn't tend to be so vindictive and passive-aggressive and undermining the mother. They would still let the children go see the mother and not talk so nasty about the mother so much, except when the mother talked nasty about them. So, interesting, messing with maligning, the whole society's maligning fathers, boys, men, masculinity. Feminists are evil. They really are. Actually, even people who don't think they're feminists still infected with feminist ideas. Extremism. CNN reports that Congress is set to grill the CEOs of Facebook, Google, and Twitter today. About so-called misinformation. Congress pushes misinformation, and so do these outlets. Give me a break. They push the Black Lives Matter madness. All three, Facebook, Google, and Twitter. YouTube. Alphabet. It will be the executive's first appearance before lawmakers since the Capitol riot and the coronavirus vaccine rollout. And the misinformation that they're talking about is questioning the election or questioning the vaccines. Some people are making allegations about the riot on both sides, about the, not the riot, but the election, well, the riot too, on both sides, and about vaccines on both sides, that they don't know to be true. People are pretending, oh, this is totally safe. And I mentioned this, and so that's ridiculous. Congress, I don't trust. Facebook, Google, and Twitter, we know that they lie. So that's not, don't expect much light to be coming in from that. I mentioned this in Hake News at the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson show today. Marine Corps officer warns Congress against classifying Christians in the military as, quote unquote, religious extremists. A slide used, this is from the Epoch Times, a slide used in the Department of Defense, DOD, training manual, and this is not the first time we've heard this kind of thing about the military, identifies Catholics and so-called evangelical Christians, meaning normal Christians, as religious extremists, along with members of the Ku Klux Klan, which is hardly even existent today, the Al-Qaeda, and Hamas. According to a Marine Corps officer who was speaking as a civilian, this officer named Barry, Michael, I believe, Barry, First Liberty Institute, FLI, is based in Plano, Texas, and they are a public interest law firm specializing in the First Amendment and freedom of religion. They obtained a screenshot of an unclassified slide from a U.S. Army training manual. The slide is entitled Religious Extremism, and it purports to identify religious extremists, said Michael Berry to the House Armed Services Committee during a hearing March 24th entitled Extremism in the Military. Remember, Sleepy Joe Biden, Creepy Joe Biden, and his affirmative action black defense secretary, right? Secretary of Defense? That guy over there who runs the things, what's his name? Lloyd Austin. Biden couldn't remember his name. He was funny. He said, Barry is the general counsel to this First Liberty Institute. He said, included in those listed on that slide are Al-Qaeda, Hamas, and the Ku Klux Klan as groups that use or advocate violence to accomplish their objectives and are therefore rightly classified as extremists. And I don't even know if that's entirely true. I don't know if the Ku Klux Klan use or advocates violence. Are they even active? I think that might just be leftover political correctness to smear whites, to include whites as bad guys. Could be wrong. Also included, he said, in this committee, to this committee, are evangelical Christianity and Catholicism, who most assuredly do not advocate violence. Surely the fact that evangelical Christians and Catholics, I'm reading his quote, hold fast to millennia-old views on marriage and human sexuality does not make them extremists who are unfit to serve. At a time of turmoil and instability during which our nation faces many external threats, this message is inappropriate and offensive to our service members and those they defend. Told you. Remember we didn't let the gays out of the closet? And now they're the gays and the pro-gay people, the evil people, like Mama, are bullying the people that they pretend are bullies, which are the innocent, normal, manly-thinking people, logical people, and taking the side of the criminals and perverts, the people who want to corrupt society. The training manual that Barry referred to is used in Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin's recently ordered stand down to the whole military to identify and root out extremists in the U.S. military. Austin's order came in the wake of the January 6th breach of the U.S. Capitol, in which some participants were military veterans. Ooh. And those participants, most of them did nothing wrong. Just a side note. Austin said in a DOD video explaining his reasons for the stand down that all military members in each of his branches are required to view he's the extremist. Anyway, there is not a single doubt in my mind that you take seriously your oath to the Constitution. Yeah, that's why some of these people at the Capitol were called oath keepers, because they take seriously their thing. You know, I'm just on a principled level, I defend the oath keepers without knowing much about them. But my guess is they're not as extreme or much enemies of America as these people who are infiltrating the government, right? And it's been a long time coming, more than 100 years, I guess. Austin has claimed in the video that the presence of extremist views is not new to our country and sadly is not new to our military. Crazy. Committee Chairman Adam Smith, a Democrat from Washington, told the hearing in his opening statement, if you serve in the military, you pledge an oath to the U.S. Constitution and the laws of this country. If you disagree with that Constitution, and you disagree with the laws of the country so strongly that you no longer think our government is legitimate, then you have no business serving in the U.S. military and you should get out now. False. That's false. This is a free country. You can have the beliefs. You can have beliefs about, especially now, look at how corrupted and subverted they are. You may hold to the real Constitution. The Constitution does not grant same-sex marriage or abortion, by the way. Just FYI. There is much that is illegitimate going on in the country. That doesn't mean that you're going to be a rogue, an outright rogue. Representative Mike Rogers from Alabama, he told the hearing that it's important to point out that we lack any concrete evidence that violent extremism is as rife in the military as some commentators claim. Yeah. Anyway, it's terrible. It's a total mess. Speaking of the closet, people pretend, oh, the closet is so horrible. You know how I tell drinkers and pot smokers and gays and porn addicts and slut makers and everybody, keep your stuff in the closet, like hide your shame. But like the closet is more referred to for the homosexuals and the transgenders. Have more gays died in the closet or out of the closet? I wonder. I think out of the closet. Because when they were in the closet, many of them overcame it because the society did not encourage it. So they didn't have that open-minded that their brain leaked out type of accepting every kind of evil, thinking that it's fine. Transgender surgery has not reduced transgender suicides, according to what I've heard. You know that? They suddenly feel better because they've given in to something and accepted who they think they are. But the closet is where you protect your dignity. They want to act like, oh, we need to make sure that they are treated with dignity. How about they treat themselves and the rest of us with dignity. Hide your shame. Do you wear clothes? You're hiding your shame. It's how you show respect for others. Shame is good in this sense. There's a good kind of shame. Have some shame. In the 60s, remember the 60s? Well, remember what we heard about the 60s? I was born in 81, right? They wanted to let it all hang out. What's in the dark will always come to light, James, says Vitamin D. What kind of darkness are you talking about? No, there's a right way to be open, and there's a wrong way to be open. There's a right way to hide, and a wrong way to hide. There's a right and wrong way to be real. People who feel shy, act shy, and they think, oh, I'm just being myself. No, you overcome it. There's a false push by phony people to live authentically. And these are some of the phoniest people. It's so cringe-inducing. And worse, it's deceiving many people to accept wrong is right. By the way, Biden's transgender health secretary was confirmed. That's that doctor, he calls himself Rachel Levine, according to the far-left female-run outlet The Skim. Yesterday, he, got the go-ahead to serve as Assistant Secretary of Health, because the people in the Senate, I believe, is the one who confirms, the branch of the legislature that confirms Biden's appointees, right? So I think the cowardly Senate confirmed this guy. Rachel Levine, can you show that just briefly, just 5 seconds? It's hard to look at this guy. Making him, the first and highest ranking openly transgender federal official to get the Senate's confirmation. In a Senate, Dr. Levine addressed transgender youth, wolf in sheep's clothing, right? Saying, I will do everything I can to support you and advocate for you. Transgender youth. Joe Biden also said if an 8-year-old feels like he's a transgender, he can be a woman and we can help him be a woman. There he is. Misguided people, blind leading of the blind. Anyway, it's terrible. By the way, Biden's going to hold his first press conference. My lines are full. I got to get to calls. His first press conference is supposed to be today. 1:15 p.m. Eastern time. So what is that? 11, 12, 1. So it's going to happen in my second hour, I guess. Boring. Sleep through it. Mo Betta stand-up gave a dime, and I think yesterday said, great show as usual, Hake and experts. I forget whether I read that one. Thank you. By the way, BNN Watchdog gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report and said, Marcus Jones equals Takia go-to guy. People were calling him Torah go-to guy instead of Bible go-to guy, based on what Mays was talking about. But he still watches BNN Newsmax. Interesting. Thank you, BNN_watchdog, for the support. Okay, let me get to my favorite caller. Lines are full, guys. Hang tight. I'll try to get to all of you. I will. And then some. Mays in Dayton, Ohio, though, wants to talk about so-called Bagel Karen. Did you guys see that clip I put out from my phone call with Stephanie from New York? Nice lady. And she called herself nice. What's up, Mays? How are you doing?
Hello, James.
Hey.
Yeah, Art wanted to beat the lady up yesterday.
He didn't want to beat her up. So we're referring to...
explaining how he said it?
We're referring to the lady who... I'm putting her on hold just to explain to you guys. We're referring to the lady who went to the bagel shop in New York, and she was not wearing a mask. She's an anti-mask activist, but she also has a medical issue where she cannot be wearing masks. With her children, trying to get a bagel, and people are giving her HE double toothpicks. People are giving her heck. Her name is Stephanie from New York. People call her double hockey sticks. Oh, yeah. People call her Bagel Karen, which is a smear upon white women, calling them racist, when actually they're the ones who hate whites. But she called the one of the guys at the counter with dreadlocks, who said, stop looking at me like that. And she was wearing sunglasses. And she called him a B-word, A-word, N-word. And this whole thing went wild because Sean King, the Black Lives Matter agitator, who may not be black, who really knows, his soul definitely is black and evil, malicious person. Everybody's going after her, calling Child Protective Services on her. I like her spunk, but I felt that she needs to sit down and be a lady, not get all into this activism stuff. And Joelle Friday here has racial animus towards her. But anyway, Maze wants to comment on this.
As I was saying,
You were saying that Art from Ohio, because Art was saying, calm down, lady, she's a libtard. He called her a libtard.
he said that if she was in his neighborhood, what would he do to her, James?
He said that he would just look at her crazy. He said other people in the neighborhood might not put up with that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
But that's not. But he didn't want to jump her.
going around doing.
Art is not a violent man. He's capable of violence because he is a man, but he's not a violent man. He's not going to beat a woman up just because she said something as a loud mouth to her in the public place. Give me a break.
Oh, so you want her to hide her shame?
What are you talking about?
Is that what you're saying?
No,
So can I get to my point? And you won't interrupt me?
I have no promises.
Oh, okay. I know you don't. 'Cause when I say something you don't like, you get to start talking. But as I was saying yesterday about what Bible two guys said, what about buildings? What new buildings have been approved of since slavery? Ask him if he had to get a blood transfusion today, who came up with it and who invented it? Tell him to look up the person's name, and people are still benefiting from it today.
Is that a black
That's what
guy?
I'm trying to tell his dumb self.
Wow.
I don't know. Look up his name. You can find out. That's why I say.
If you don't know, then how come you're bringing it up?
If I didn't know, I wouldn't be telling you. But I want you to see for yourself. I don't want you to take what I said.
Is it George Washington Carver or somebody like that?
No, he made sure you eat the peanuts and that you had to live.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So anyway, as I was saying about this lady, now as I say, leave people alone that's not bothering you. That's what y'all doing. And then the one that hate that they pulling down the statues, what's his name, Chris?
Everybody hates that they're putting.
Joel.
Everybody sensible does not like them pulling down the statues.
I know anybody that with common sense, a statue is more important than people. That's
Right.
our problem.
Yep.
And when it comes to the
Because
disease
those
that y'all
people
have,
are degenerate. You don't kiss up to them.
No. And I always tell
Yes,
somebody
yes, yes,
strong.
yes.
That don't make you strong because you're standing up doing something dumb.
Huh?
Because she shouldn't have been in the people. So there are people that's got stores that will let you in without a mask on. Why don't she find those? It's easy for her to look up and go into.
No, it's
But
not
unless
easy
you
to
don't wanna
find
wear a
those.
mask.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. It's
No,
just
it isn't.
easy for her to go in there.
Have you been to New York City?
Yes, I have been in New York
Can you
City.
name a place
Just
in
like
New
I
York
came-
City that doesn't require a mask? Name one.
If I was going there, I wouldn't be going in a place that didn't require a mask.
Where would you look to find a place that doesn't require a mask? A bagel
The
place.
same place you look to where you want to find a place to go and eat.
Look.
You would call the
Tell me.
restaurant
Tell me.
and you would call the restaurant.
See,
that
it's
you
not
wanna go
easy.
to.
You have to call and all that stuff. She doesn't
That's
have to
right.
do that.
So I'm quite sure it's a place that
In
that they have
fact,
places that let her come
in fact, Maze, stores are recommended not to harass customers who don't wear masks.
Because she started in Trader Joe's, remember? Before she went to the
Right.
bagel place, right?
Yep.
And she started there. And she called and talked to you about it. Instead
Yep.
of you telling her to sit her butt down somewhere and leave people alone that's not bothering her, she's trying to make a name for herself.
But they are bothering
and
her,
they should
too.
just put her in jail so she can pay
She's
some
not
money
the
and
only.
she'll sit down
She's
somewhere.
not the only one stirring up
I know
trouble.
she's
They're
not the only one.
stirring up trouble
It's just like-
against her.
It's
You
just like I
said
said,
that.
she's
You
not the
said.
only one.
Hold on.
Y'all
You said, Maze, that she's bothering people who are not bothering her. That's not the
That's right.
case.
She's in the store without a mask. So what did she go in there for? She didn't go in there to do nothing Christian-like.
Yes, she did. She wants a bagel. Bagels are very Christian. They're Judeo-Christian.
Or what kind of Christian?
Judeo-Christian.
Really, I know it's funny to you, too. But I'm saying they got disease when you find people doing stuff like you talking about keep it under the cover. And the one that hate, Chris, he's going right along with her. Tell the media to stay away from her. If she would have been sitting down and not causing problems, she wouldn't have any problems. She'd be raising her children or however how many she got or doing whatever she got to do instead of causing problems. Don't you
Maybe.
think she caused the problem?
You may have a point there.
The problem?
I
And
said
that's
you.
gonna be-
I said you
now
may
y'all
have a
gonna-
point there.
Y'all going to condemn her as being a crazy person.
How
No,
come you?
she's an evil person.
How come you harass people with
evil.
medical issues?
Medical issues.
Yeah, she has medical
If
issues.
she had medical issues, she should have something to show that she got a medical issue.
No,
not her
she
mouth.
doesn't. That's
And
a
listening to
violation
her-
of her privacy, Maze.
And listening
What is
to
your
her
dignity?
yesterday, listening to her talking to you when she started in Trader Joe's,
Huh?
and she was going to go to another store, it sounded like something that she's trying to do. Not about no medical issue. So it was evil, and she got the disease.
What was evil?
Her and the one that hate to want the statue thrown down, he got the disease too because you listen to him.
What
and they're gonna
disease?
they're gonna get upset with Joel because he didn't agree with what's going on.
Joel has racial animus.
They don't like. Well, now why does he have racial animus? You was just telling how you feel. Can't nobody tell how they feel except you all. Anybody else feeling a different way? It's like they got animals. Something's wrong with them. Are they evil? Y'all need to get it together. Like I keep saying, leave people alone that's not bothering you, and y'all live better on this
Back
earth.
at you.
And get rid of the disease you have, and you'll be a better person. You don't have to put under the cover.
Name the disease. Describe
Put it
the
in the
symptoms.
The hatred that you carry within you.
Back at you.
They're not bothering you.
Back at you.
And just like you saying, the guy that went and shot them people up, you gonna try to make him be another race.
Take
now,
care.
Why can't he be just a Caucasian? On his birth certificate, you don't know what it said.
Take care, Business Bear.
He was a Muslim.
Says,
So was Muhammad Ali. Was Muhammad Ali a Muslim?
Hold on, Maze. I'm talking.
Okay, I'm listening.
Take care, Business Bear says, oh, ST blank you, Maze. As
tell him I said.
That means shut up, Maze.
Tell him to get rid of his disease. And
She did nothing wrong. She defended herself. Says, take care, Business Bear.
Like her. He's just like her. That's why he understands her, because he just like her, want to do something stupid like that, too.
Tell Maze.
Got the nerve to tell him about being smart.
Ledge Klinger says, tell Maze we're all talking smack about her.
Like I care.
All right. Nice talking with you, Mace.
But as I was saying, tell Bible Go To guy to get rid of the disease he has, and he can be better than think that he's smarter than anybody else, and he's dominant in dirt.
Wow.
And he's not superior to nothing either, except the dog that he got, if he had one. And that's an animal and not a monkey. So you have a good one.
All right. You as well. Thank you, Mace. Nice hearing from you. She instigated the incident, says Big Pimpin'. Wow, what a name. But, yeah, a little bit. But, I mean, she's takes two to tango, am I right? If he weren't a B-A-N, she wouldn't have called him a B-A-N. Am I right? Anyway, I shouldn't encourage. Okay. I got to get to Killian in Boston, Mass. Killian, it's good to hear from you. How are you doing?
Guten Morgen.
Hey. Guten Morgen. Guten Tarde. Guten Tarde. I mixed up German and Spanish.
I think it's funny you guys are talking about this bagel story when the biggest news incident in the entire world right now is the Suez Canal.
You know, there's another big incident that I read about on Twitter where a black guy talked about hating white people, and I heard that he stabbed a 12-year-old boy in the neck somewhere in America.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And then we're talking about the bagel incident. Yeah, it is pretty silly. We can only handle a certain amount of drama. Violence, especially when it's black on white.
Welcome to Clown World.
Yeah, very true. It's definitely fun to talk about, especially since she's a star who is a fellow fan of the JLP show, and she calls into the Hake Report. Did you hear her call?
Yeah, I heard something about that she calls in.
Yeah, right on. Anyway, what's going on with the Suez Canal, and where is the Suez Canal?
You don't know where the Suez Canal is?
No.
They fought wars over it in the 60s for like over a year.
I don't know about the 60s. I'm an 80s boy.
Yeah, I was born in the 80s too, so. But I mean, I'm a big fan of history, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's basically the canal through Egypt that connects the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean.
Oh. Wow.
It's the largest shipping lane in the world between Asia and the West.
Okay. Who's blocking it?
There was this one ship called the Ever Given, run by the Evergreen Company. Basically, it's one of the largest cargo ships in the world. It crashed into one side of the canal, and then its tail end drifted and crashed into the other side of the canal.
Oh, so it's not like a malicious blocking. They're not just blockading. It's a accident, basically.
Yeah, the funniest thing about the whole story is that the driver was a woman.
That is funny. So let me read this from CNN. This is CNN's 5 Things. They send you an email with all of their fake news. Some of it is factual, though. A container ship ran aground Tuesday in the Suez Canal, blocking one of the world's busiest waterways and stranding dozens of vessels on both sides in one of the worst shipping jams seen in years. And it's still there. Yeah, Tuesday, and now it's, Thursday? Late Thursday for them? In fact, the CEO of a salvage company says it could take days or weeks to free the massive tanker from the comparatively tiny waterway. The 224,000-ton vessel is almost as long as the Empire State Building is tall and got stuck because of a sandstorm and bad navigation. And it was driven by a woman, according to Killian, but CNN doesn't mention that. Women's History Month, right? Shipping experts say if it's not cleared soon, some vessels may have to be rerouted around a southern tip of Africa, adding about a week to their journeys. Just how important is this narrow waterway? Roughly 30% of the world's shipping container volume transits through its 120 miles every day. Most days, not today. Wow. That's from CNN.
Yeah,
CNN.
they've calculated that that the world economy is essentially losing $20 million per minute that
Wow.
the ship is stuck. Per minute.
Where'd you get the information that it's driven by a woman? Do you know? Do you remember?
4chan.
Ah, those people know everything.
Basically. I mean, you got to sift through the BS, but they're usually on top of everything at least a day before the regular news gets it.
Yeah. Interesting.
But, I mean, they tried saying that it's going to go away soon, and the fact that, like, no one's really reporting on it, I mean, only cursory reports.
Are you sure that it's driven by a woman? Just out of curiosity.
It wasn't the captain, but it was the pilot.
The pilot of the ship, the person on the steering wheel.
Yeah, if you look it up, she was celebrated as one of the first women pilots for a ship of that size.
And you're sure about this?
A year or two ago. Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess it will come out. I guess we'll have that information eventually.
I don't know if they're going to talk about it or talk about that too much, but
right.
It's out there if you really want to look for it.
4chan.
But I mean, this ship isn't going anytime. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's 200,000 tons.
Yeah. That's
and
wild.
It's beached 40 feet onto the shore.
Wow.
There's not a single machine on Earth capable of moving this weight. 25 tugboats that they have right now can't even pull it out.
Has this happened in this canal before? Do you know of?
Not that I've heard of.
That is wild.
I mean, the hull, I used to be in the Navy, so I know about naval engineering, but the hull of the ship is most likely fractured.
Yeah.
So any pulling or twisting is going to split the hull. And I don't see it going anywhere for weeks or months.
Wow, that thing is huge. There's a Joel Friday here found a picture of a what is that thing? A tractor crane thingy? One of those Caterpillar type machines, land movers. And the ship is just dwarfing this little thing. Makes it look like a toy. Wow.
Oh yeah. They had pictures of this little tractor trying to like dig it out, but it's not going anywhere.
Beautiful green water.
If you look at like the side chart of like how deep the canal is and how wide the canal is, this ship is dug in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Man. And is that spanning from shore to shore?
Yeah.
Is that what we're looking at?
Sure.
That is wild. So it runs in between what, Egypt and what? It's right.
The canal goes from the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
Which is basically like all the shipping from China to Europe.
Through Egypt, right? Through Egypt? Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Just west of Israel, I guess. Interesting.
So basically, like, they say one of the conservative estimates is that 12% of the entire world's economy goes through that canal.
Wow.
Every day. And so they did the math, and they came basically, the global trade's about $87.5 trillion.
Yeah.
And so 10.5, if you multiply that by 12%, then that's about 10.5 trillion. And if you divide that by 365, that's about $28.76 billion per day.
That's mind-boggling.
And then,
I have no idea what that even means. Can they quickly just dig a canal into the Gulf of Aqaba? That's further. No, I'm being silly. I'm being silly.
Define quickly.
Right. Good point. Wow, that is so wild.
But yeah, the calculations say that the world economy is losing about $20 per minute.
Wow.
And the funniest thing is, I think, is the other biggest canal for trade in the world is the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know where that is.
Yep.
And this ship is actually flying under the flag of Panama.
Oh man, that's terrible. That's funny. So maybe they were doing that because they're trying to get rid of a competitor. Even though Panama's on the whole other side of the world almost. So they're
saying a lot of people in Europe, anyone that's listening from Europe right now, should try to stock up on goods, because even though they think a lot of their products are domestic, a lot of their products come from Asia.
Yeah.
And so with this big supply breakdown, and I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, why don't the ships just turn around and drive around Africa?
Yeah.
But they can't, because they only plan to have enough fuel to go through the canal there. It's like 8 times longer to go around Africa than it is to go through the canal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Man,
so
what a mess.
They'd all have to refuel. They'd all have to refuel for the new planned trip. They weren't planning on this.
It's like the world's turning into a third world country because of these women and everything mismanaging. I don't know. Seems like a big mess.
Like I said earlier, Hake, welcome to clown world.
Yeah. Terrible.
The world's just gonna burn down, and we're all gonna have a front seat to watch it on the internet.
Yeah. What a shame.
But they're saying that people in Europe should stock up on goods right now before the panic hits, because Europe is mostly supplied by ships coming through the Suez Canal. Gas prices are going to go up for them.
Wow.
But luckily for us, they're saying that the prices might go down in America, especially on the West Coast. So you guys might get a nice little windfall, because you can have all these Chinese ships full of goods, and they can't get through the canal. So they might sell it at a loss to America, because they can just go across the Pacific.
So I'm showing people the map, because I looked it up on the map, and we're looking at what ocean is that? The Mediterranean Sea coming down from the top, and you're seeing what sea is that? The Arabian Sea coming down from the bottom, right? I think.
Yeah.
Or no, that's the Red Sea coming down from the bottom.
But it's Red Sea is it's on the edge of the Indian Ocean.
And you see 2 long, narrow gulfs, one pointing up to the right, and that's the Gulf of Aqaba, and one pointing up to the left, that's longer, the Gulf of Suez. And up at the top of the Gulf of Suez is a tiny canal that you cannot even really see, called the Suez Canal, going up into that sea up at the top, which is the Mediterranean Sea, I guess, or something. Interesting. Yeah. Wow, thank you for the tip, Killian. What a mess.
Yeah, it's literally the biggest news story in the world right now, and the fact that the mainstream media isn't shouting it from the rooftops right now is very suspicious.
Well, I mean, it's item number 5 for CNN. CNN is always on top of stuff that's important. Underneath the virus, immigration, White House, and the Boulder shooting.
Well, I think Bloomberg came out yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, the ship it'll be unblocked in a couple days," but
not
the news reports I'm getting. They're saying it's going to be there for weeks to months.
Yeah, I believe it. Thank you, Killian. Good to hear from you, man. Take care.
Yeah, you as well.
All right. Wow. Let me talk to Howard in North Carolina. Howard, how are you doing?
Doing fine. How about you, James?
Doing fine as well. Thank you.
Yeah, is your YouTube channel going? Because on YouTube, they go for 3 minutes and 49 seconds, and then it just goes away.
You know, you may have to refresh, it started a whole new link.
I did refresh a couple times. And
you may have to go away from that video and look for the new one. Let me see. YouTube.com/The Hake Report. But I do see people in the YouTube. They are chatting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me try it again.
Okay. Yeah, it is a totally different link.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a 3 minute and 50-second video that was my first one, and another one that's going now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing wrong.
Same title though, so it can be confusing.
Yeah, it's the same time.
So anyway, you wanted to talk about race relations?
Yeah, what a mess.
Yeah, it really is.
Everything everything you've been talking about, what a mess.
Yeah, really is.
I was watching JLP, one of his older, 2017, I think, and he was talking to, there's a white guy and a black guy, and they were alt-right. I can't remember their names.
Oh.
And he talked to him for an hour, and he was telling that it was the white guy, you know, about they was wanting to, they believed in the borders and all that stuff, and the whites need to stand up. And Jesse was trying to tell them, if they do it, just do it for their whiteness and do it with the anger, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
He's 100% right. And a lot of, you know, I live in the country, and all this stuff I just see on TV, because the black people around here, most of them are decent.
Right.
But I don't know one black Republican, though.
Oh. They're not that decent then.
I know. That's making
Right.
me wonder now.
Yep.
Where I worked,
Yeah.
one, he goes to church, and he talks. I'm not naming no names or nobody. And he goes to church. He talks about Jesus and everything. And the white guy asked him, said, the Trump guy said, how can you be for the Democrats when they're for abortion, homosexuality, and
Yeah.
all this stuff, and you're a Christian? And he just says something stupid Trump said and walks away. He won't stand and defend it.
Yeah.
And the other two, this a black lady. She's 51 or 52, and she's real nice. Picks and cuts up, you know. She said a lot of her family married white people. She said they starting outnumber the blacks. She said something's going wrong here.
What did she say? What's going wrong?
A lot of her family's married white people. She said she was picking about a lot of white people in her family, but she still says F Trump.
Oh, yeah.
They don't like Trump at all.
Brainwashed.
Yeah.
Hating their best friend.
Oh, and a lot of white guys I know, they are getting fed up with this if they watch this all the time.
Yeah.
And all of them have tons of guns.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid they're going to act out, like you say, and Jesse says, in anger. And I try to tell them, if you do it the wrong way, that's what they want you to do.
Yeah. Even if they don't act out in a violent way, they're not going to be effective fighters for what's right.
Yeah.
Being angry. It's or afraid. Angry or afraid, same thing.
Yeah, I told them, well, they're not really afraid. They're getting angry, and I can see it. Once you, like you say, when you really, really, really know, when you've really been saved and all that, you can just see people. You just observe, like Jesse said.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can see, and you can just look at a person and their actions and tell. I understand what he means about that now. I'm sure you've known it for a long time.
That's good.
Can't you? You can see it, can't you?
So are you an example now?
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah.
I say I don't get angry. I say don't be angry. I said speak up and say, no, you're not a racist. And yes, I'm a Christian. But I don't say it with anger, and I don't judge the other person. I understand that they're lost.
Right.
And I try to set an example. And what I see, some of what I see is scary.
It's scary?
I'm not naming no names scary white people.
Yeah.
I mean, the anger in them and
right.
And the guns they own, and I've seen their gun cabinets and safes. 90% of them have over 10 guns, and all of them have concealed handgun where you can carry them. What do you call it? Permit.
Do any of them listen to you? Do any of them recognize what you're saying?
Yeah.
Good.
Some of them do, and some of them have that attitude, just like the blacks. The whites, y'all need to wake up too,
Right.
and don't get angry.
Yeah.
Don't, if you do that, like Jesse said, you'll be in the same ditch with the blacks.
Yep. Very true. And take a lot of people, a lot of decent, innocent people down with you.
Right. I'm saying this to the whites and the blacks.
Yeah.
Especially the whites now. Don't come out with anger.
Yes.
I can see it brewing, and I don't like it. And even around here now, usually it's where I'm at, pretty country,
Could you hold a town hall between the whites and blacks where you are, or something like that?
I'd like to.
Yeah, maybe you should put something together.
Mm-hmm.
Let them get it off their chest, even if they do say it angrily.
Do you think that would help?
Yeah,
I really
maybe.
don't want to say it angrily, but
some people can't say it at all if they don't say it angrily. So it's better to say it angrily. At least say it, and then deal with what you see, and then deal with what rises up.
Yeah, they might say it angrily and see how did it.
That's all right.
And it might open their eyes.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying now. The ones that said anger said, "Whoa, I shouldn't have done that." Then they'll back off and do it with more love,
I really think that's why a lot of people don't speak up, is because they're more afraid of their own, what may rise up in them, in response to what rises up in others.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They're afraid they'll get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay calm and do it the right way. And they ask me, and I say I can see it. But I'm not angry about it.
Right.
Please don't get angry about it. Stand up the right way, because that's what I'm not saying the black people around us, that's not what they want to do.
Yeah.
But if the white people do something, Jesse, all of them, the race hustlers and everybody, the media's just going to own it, and that's all you're going to hear.
Yeah, of course.
You don't want.
But who cares? We want more. We want the truth to get out, whether people are saying it angrily or not. Let them. You got to cut people slack.
I want to know your opinion on that.
Yeah, let them say it angrily, because you can't control them. They can't control themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially in a fallen state.
Right. Anyway, Howard, I appreciate it.
I wish they would all do it the right way, though. But
maybe you could put together, if you know any like Republican clubs or any organizations or corporations that would want to like bring Jesse Lee Peterson out, maybe you guys could put together an event and JLP hosts the town hall.
I'll see what's going on. And I've been thinking about going to the Republican thing in Claremont.
Yeah, or a church.
One guy said, or a church, and seeing about the jobs there, what the Republican National Convention.
Yeah.
Like that one guy called in and said he went there, and they got that position because there wasn't that few older white people in their 80s.
Have you seen Jesse Lee Peterson's town hall forums on his YouTube channels?
Some.
He's held some, so maybe you could show an example of a town hall forum that he's hosted to these people, so that they get an idea of what it might be like, so that they can be able to picture it and want to put one on where they are. Because you're right, we do have to deal with this issue between the blacks and whites.
It's not real bad here yet, you know what I'm saying?
But still, like, even if we're doing it, even if it's better to do it while it's not real bad. Do it while it's not real bad. So you guys could be an example for elsewhere in the country, because people all over the world see these town hall forums, and that can spark a little bit of an awakening to see somebody handling it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the black people I encounter when I go to get tires on my car or stuff like that, they come in, and they're hard working, and most of the ones I work with, they're all hard working, on homes.
Yeah.
I don't know, 4 or 5 new cars.
Good.
And he's not, the racism is not holding them. There's no such thing as racism.
I know.
It's not holding them back.
Yeah.
They got more money than I do.
Yep.
And more than I have.
I know.
I don't get the racism. Well, they don't holler at.
Yeah.
Around here yet. They may in their homes, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Howard. It's good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you, but yeah, I'll check some of that stuff out. I got a little free time on my hands.
Yeah, and just start talking to some of these churches, whether Jesse's involved or not. I think it would be a good idea because he's really good at handling these things.
Yeah, he is. You don't do stuff like that, do you?
No, not as much, definitely. But I mean, I'll host it on my show. But I don't have as much experience as JLP.
You're right. He's been doing it for 30. How long have you been doing it, James? Before you go, right quick, I'll let you go.
I started hosting this show in late 2017, alongside Joel Friday here and Esteban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nick and Chris.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Howard. We'll talk.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay. I'll get back to you.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. I got a bunch of super chats from dlive.tv/the Hake Report. Taxation is theft, says Penny Roo with a diamond over there. Yeah. And Fluky Unicorn says, end the Fed. True. I agree. And people think these are anti-establishment, anti-government. The Fed is not even the government. Did you know that? That's what I heard. And taxation is theft, but still probably wise to pay it unless you want to be one of those people that doesn't mind going to jail. Malkuth X with a diamond says, Maze talks so fast it'll make your head swim. Yeah. Malkuth X with another diamond says, Blats didn't do nothing. Whites did nothing wrong. Yeah, that's true. People about different whites who get smeared in the media, they say such and such did nothing wrong about whites. And blacks say, hey, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. So nobody did anything. Good, interesting observation, Malkuth X. Everybody's saying the same thing. And in some cases, they're right. In some cases, they're lying. William A33 with a diamond says, ban the bans. Ban the B-A-Ns. Referring to B word, A word, N word. I shouldn't laugh. It's setting a bad example. Penny Roo gave a diamond and said, number one hair. Aw, thank you. Appreciate the support. We're a couple of minutes till the end of the hour, but I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. I'll be right back for the beginning of hour 2. I got the one line open. Coming to Zach in Columbus, Ohio next. He's talking about a protest happening at his school. By the way, there was a crazy, well, I call it crazy, protest over here, Echo Park Lake. You guys heard of Echo Park? Used to be a beautiful neighborhood, right? And they had Echo Lake or Echo Park Lake. And I remember when I was in college, one of my friends, he made like this remote control motorboat duck thing with like under lights. He was Asian. He was like Japanese. And he had the duck, a remote control boat that had a duck floaty thing on it, riding around in Echo Lake, and he took video of it, and it was cool. It's just a beautiful little area. Even as late as 2002, 2003, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Overrun with homelessness, and they are getting rid of the homeless encampments, but there's all these dumb protesters, advocates for the unhoused is what they call themselves, or whatever, kind of protest the police and all these people. They bribed these homeless people to take hotel rooms, busloads of these people to hotels to take up rooms so that they could fence off Echo Park Lake to, I guess, fix it back up again. But they're not dealing with the homeless problem right. When was Echo Park nice? Asks Penny Roo. In my imagination, it was. It wasn't as overrun with the homeless people making the grass brown because their tents stay on there day in and day out for weeks and months. Anyway. I'll get right back to you guys. Hang tight. Enjoy this song from John Parfit, Bright Lights.
Like a thief in the night, they'll take away what's left of us. Burning landslides lighting up the sky in front of all of us. Like a bird on a fly in the sky. Watch the clouds as they pass on by. Soar from the earth with no fear and no need to hold on to you, dear. But I'm afraid that I won't come down, 'cause it feels like having you around, like it was back then when you and me.
So we're back, guys. Another thing about that Echo Park thing. I used to go there just because there were these different concerts at the Echo and stuff like that. Now they're saying never has there been a bigger wealth gap between the rich people because they're gentrifying it and stuff like that. And there are more vacancies at apartments than homeless. Doesn't mean you just give them to the homeless. Send them away. Deport the homeless and the advocates. Send them to that island where Ardern is prime minister or whatever. Ardern, is that New Zealand? I know New Zealand is very harsh with their immigration. We need to get like that. Anyway, let me get right to Zach in Columbus, Ohio. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hake, how are you?
By the way, this song that's Summer Fire, right? Yep. Summer Fire by Bright Lights. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Zach, how are you?
I'm great. The blacks back at it again, man. Back at it again.
What case are you referring to now?
Well, something happened. So at my school, your junior year, you get the option to go to the career centers, okay, and learn a trade. I didn't go, okay.
Okay.
But they're all connected. They're all connected to the schools, okay.
Yeah.
So at the career center, we had an incident. It's called Fairfield Career Center, Columbus, Ohio. And basically, there were people outside, whites, nice little white people, and they had Trump flags. They were waving around Trump flags and Blue Lives Matter flags and everything. And the blacks got a little bit upset because there was a black girl in her car, and the white people were waving around the flag around her car. And basically, she reported it to the school saying that they were saying so-called racial slurs.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And now everyone at the school is protesting. And they're calling people racist who aren't coming to the protest.
Yeah.
And an incident just happened today in the lunchroom, actually. A black girl confronted some of my friends at the table and went up to them and started screaming at them, calling them racist, and they don't support. Someone said in the chat, Columbus is a chocolate mess, but they don't support Black Lives Matter, and they don't support other things like that. And it's crazy.
Yeah. That is pretty wild. And the blacks are so blind to themselves that they don't realize that they're the haters.
And I agree. It's like, man, some people just don't want to partake in that. I would never partake in anything like that.
And so are the people who are taking the side of the blacks, by the way. Yeah.
It really is. They really are. And the crazy thing is the school isn't doing anything about it. You would think the school would stop the blacks because they stopped the whites with the Trump flags immediately.
Right.
But the blacks out there protesting, they don't want to say anything.
Cowards.
They're going to get called racist.
Cowards. Evil.
They really.
That's what's happening countrywide with the adults. And those are adults running the school, right? Supposedly.
Yep.
Women probably mostly, but even the males.
Oh, it's a women superintendent run by women.
Not surprised. It's
and I
disgusting.
think one of them's black too.
I'm not surprised to hear that either. It's terrible. Wow. So are you going to go show up to the protests and like talk with these people at all, or keep your head down, lay low, or what? What are you up to?
I think that would kind of be a good idea to go and talk to these people at the protest.
Have a camera. Maybe have like wear a cup. maybe wear a helmet. Because these people are vicious. They can get vicious. And if you have like a camera going or recording going, or have friends with you recording, even secretly recording, because if you're openly recording, maybe they'll get malicious with you. But you want to protect yourself, because you don't know what may happen. They may accuse you of saying something you didn't say. They may hit you and try to claim they didn't. Who knows? So it can be, teenagers are quite capable of murder and all kinds of things on down.
And I am going to protect myself, but I'm gonna ask them, like, what is going through your head to not even go to class? These people aren't even going to class. They're just outside all day protesting.
Yeah, that is so funny.
Like, they were just waving around Trump flags and Blue Lives Matter. What's wrong with that?
Right. Nice. Do you have friends that you trust to watch your back and record and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know the situation better than I do, but...
Yeah, me and my friend Ethan and Matt were big Justice supporters.
Don't dox them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Ethan and Matt around Columbus area. They don't know who we are.
You know what? Here's advice from a man who knows. Stay away from the protest. There's nothing positive that can come from a white high school student engaging with these people. You know what? That guy that's from Asmodor, I think he's probably right. Stay away from them.
You're right. Yeah, maybe it's not. I would like to see what's going through their mind, but maybe it's not the best idea to show up to the protest.
Yeah, maybe if you get, if it comes up, if somebody comes up to you, maybe after the fact or in a quiet time or whatever, you can ask somebody one-on-one after the fact if they did, if they bring it up, if they seem like they're open, but definitely read the situation. I mean, that a lot of people got in trouble from going to these right-wing protests, which are pro-America protests. Charlottesville, Virginia. People to this day are getting smeared, even in the courts, dragged through the courts over this stuff. Same thing with the Capitol riot. Yeah, it's really evil. So be careful. Don't jump. Yeah. Don't be foolhardy at all. No, if you have any inkling, you should stay away. Listen to that inkling.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad to see, though, because they're out there yelling, no justice, no peace. I'm like, what's the justice and peace here?
Yeah. I know. It's silly. Are any of the teachers acting sane about the situation?
The only one acting sane about the situation is the principal, because one of my friends, she's a girl, a white girl. The protesters are going around the school and calling out so-called racists for not attending the protest.
Yeah.
So she got sent home by the principal because they were going up to her locker and her lab. They call them labs.
Yeah.
And calling her racist and stuff like that. So she had to go home.
So she was sent home just to protect herself.
Yep.
By the principal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody is suggesting change schools. You might.
I think I should change schools. I might be moving to Clearwater, as I said.
Why don't you get homeschooled?
Well, because I play sports.
Yeah.
I do track and cross country and stuff, and I don't think my district, you have to go to the school in order to play that sport.
Okay.
So otherwise, I wouldn't be able to play.
Okay. You're going into your senior year after this, right? You're coming into your last few months of your junior year?
Yep.
Okay. Hoo-wee.
I know.
Interesting times, man. Watch your back.
It really is. I will, especially around, like everyone knows, around Columbus. It's getting crazy around here, man.
Yeah. No, I think of Columbus as being a lot of blacks, and not the nice kind, necessarily.
Yeah, and I live in a white suburban neighborhood, and there's a park around me. Me and my friends go there to play basketball. And yesterday we were at the park. It was about 70 degrees here. First nice day. And I saw a lot of blacks at the park with nasty dreads and cussing and smoking jewels and everything. And I'm like, this is a nice white suburban neighborhood, and you're riding here from the hood on your bike.
Yeah. That might be a sign to get away. from there, because sometimes you see people who look like trouble. Don't hang around the area. Just turn around. It's a shame that they're taking over like that, but that's what the adults have allowed to happen.
Blazing Hogs asked about High Street. High Street is filled with a bunch of gays. If I'm being honest. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of the gays, like we have a whole Pride Festival held here. Is there one in California?
Oh, I mean, all over the place. There's one up La Cienega, West Hollywood.
Oh, man.
Every, June. It's sick.
Every June.
And I see the street preachers preaching against them sometimes. A few years ago, I recorded street preachers. Brother Dean was there. Ruben Israel was there. And many others with them. People who have been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Preaching against them. It was cool to see. But it's terrible.
That is pretty cool. And I think I saw a dude on TikTok the other day that's running for office in California, and he was a black man, pro-Trump.
Yeah.
Great man. I'm not sure. I forget what his name is. I think he was a pastor. But yeah, it's good to see a lot of people are waking up.
Yeah. As Medora says, leftists and non-whites have been conditioned with critical theory to call anything short of bowing to them racism. And they've been taught that violence is moral. There is no rational discourse to be had. Yeah. It's a fair point.
Yep. It was nice talking to you, though. Hey.
Yeah, you as well. Zach, appreciate you.
Yep. I'll be calling back.
Sounds good. Take care, man.
Yep, you too.
All right. What a wild times. It's a shame to hear about, honestly. Time's running out to own land/property. Better get, says Blazing Hogs with the with the diamond and ice cream. Thank you, Blazing Hogs, over there on dlive.tv/the Hake Report. Dan East with a Ninja Guinea over there on dlive.tv/the Hake Report says, here, take this Guinea. I don't want it anymore. You can have it. Smiley face. Thank you. Why, thank you. Appreciate it. That's my reparations Guinea from Dan East. And King Alpha Nerd with the super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report says, I'm sorry, I thought this was America. This isn't America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Which is a famous line from a free speech advocate, a legend. From what, South Park or something? I never really watched that show, but I heard that it was funny. Randy Marsh. Nick and Chris both know. Thank you, Randy Marsh. Was he always causing trouble and then playing the victim and saying, I'm sorry, I thought this was America? Hero. Yeah, this is not America anymore. People don't really believe in the spirit of the freedom of speech. He would get into fights drunk at his kids' games. And then when he got arrested, that was his line, according to Nicolas, who used to not be a Christian. That's why he knows this stuff. Anyway, Justin, a first-time caller in Arizona, has been on hold forever. I got to get to him. Justin, what's up?
Oh, hey.
Hey, hold on, man. Hold on. Too much noise. We're going to double-check his thing. Biden will hold his first formal White House news conference today since taking office 2 months ago. And he'll face tough questions, supposedly, about issues like gun control and immigration. Gun control. The Syrian Muslim who's scared of Islamophobia is a mess. Oh, thank you, Chris. Chris is the man, making it happen. But it's a big mess. Russia, China, COVID rescue bill, vaccines. Not going to be good. Actually, it's probably happening shortly here. Starts at 1:15 Eastern, which that's what time it is already. But whatever. Expect nothing good. By the way, he appointed Kamala to handle the border crisis, like Obama appointed Biden to handle the border crisis, which means make it worse. Anyway, Justin should be ready to go. Justin, first-time caller in Arizona, Thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey, good morning, Jake. I hope you're having a good morning, man.
I am. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. I was calling because while I was working, I was listening to Tucker Carlson show, and he had Matt Walsh on, and they were talking about how shocking it is that political people can say that they're not going to vote for a white man, that they would vote for a colored man, a colored person, and an LGBT. And Matt Walsh made a good point that if a white man said that he's not going to vote unless the person's white and straight, that the Democrats would be, like getting that person out of office. And it's just crazy how you just see the openly discrimination against the whites.
Are you working? I'm hearing like tools sitting on the table is what I imagine.
I'm picking up my gun from the store. I'm about to leave right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And like I was saying, they're even passing bills to, like, if you're a colored farmer.
I've heard something along these lines. You go on.
Yeah, and it's just so crazy that nobody, some people see it, but like the media is saying that the blacks are being discriminated, and like the people. Hey, we all good, sir? Oh, sorry. Yeah, and it's just like crazy that you see that, and it's just like the society doesn't want to admit that what, like I'm saying, is true.
Yeah.
And I was calling as a white person, like, how do you like? Of course, the answer is obvious. You don't like it, but I believe that the whites need to speak up, just like how when somebody gets shot and Black Lives Matter is pissed off.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should speak up for themselves.
I agree. Yeah, we should speak up for what's right and for sanity, and that's what some people are doing more and more. But it is it's ridiculous. But whites should be shameless. That lady who said B word, A word, N word, I like how she's kind of shameless about it. I mean, once it's done, I don't think that she needed to be doing what she's doing. I don't think that she needs to be an activist woman, anti-mask, so outspoken. But Once it's done, don't apologize. You're only going to make it worse. But do lay low, some of you guys who want to get yourselves in trouble. But yes, I think that's why Trump was so refreshing, because he called out people regardless. There was some black female reporter asked him some question, and he said, "That's such a racist question," to her. And so that's so boomer and down to earth and exactly how he sees it. And that's so refreshing. We need that culture to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
May I ask you one more question?
All right.
Well, because it's hard to talk to Jesse, so I want to ask you your opinion on it. Maybe you can ask Jesse just about his old biblical question. Is there righteous anger?
There's so much noise coming through your.
Oh, sorry. Were you able to hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Jesse said that there's no such thing as righteous anger, but when a parent, whether the parent is religious or not, when a parent sees their child not 18 or nothing like that, like 7 or and younger or older, and the parent gets mad, is that not righteous anger?
Say this one more time. I was distracted.
Oh, I was saying when a parent, whether the parent is religious or not, sees their child maybe 7 or younger or older, but they're still like a kid, they're doing something that the parent knows is bad, and they get angry, correct the child. Is that not righteous anger?
No, I don't think it's righteous anger.
No, you don't think so?
Yeah, I mean, you do want to correct the child, but if you get mad about it, that's the child is not going to like that aspect of it.
Yeah, not like go hit him or anything, but
no, even without the hitting, because you can be one of those peaceful parents, but they can see right through you. Children can kind of see right through people, and actually, a lot of people can see right through you, even if you're seething underneath. They can see the phoniness, the anger within, the evil spirit inside of you.
Right.
So they're right in the fact that the child did wrong, but they're not right to be mad about it. Same thing with a kid. If a kid gets wronged by a parent, or whites get wronged by the government or by these corporations or by whoever, we're right that these people are treating us wrong, but we're wrong to be angry about it. We got to overcome evil with good.
Well, I still got I still got no, like what you just described right there.
I have no idea what you just said. You're coming in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, you said that's a good opinion. I just wanted to hear y'all's opinion about it. And well, okay. Well, what about that person in the Bible? He got drunk and fell asleep in his
Noah.
neck.
Yeah.
No. And then he got angry and cursed his son. Was that foolish anger too?
Maybe so. Yeah. I don't know how angry he was or not. He may well have been angry. And you can do stuff that is effective in a certain sense with anger or without anger. And he cursed one of his sons, right? And that was supposedly the black son. I don't know, man.
My brother.
I wouldn't want to read too much into that story as it pertains to what's going on today, because some people say, "Oh, we blacks are suffering the curse of Ham," or whoever that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if Noah was right or wrong. It sounds like the brothers who protected their father's dignity, even when he didn't have dignity himself, did right, and the guy who was apparently told his brothers about it when he saw it, apparently that brother did wrong, but Noah may have been wrong or right in cursing his son. I don't know.
I know, because my brother listens to JLP, and I listen to both your show and his. Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
Are you and JLP and Joe, do y'all practice y'all Second Amendment? Like, do y'all own? I know it's probably not my business, my bad. Excuse me. But do you own firearms, and are you like are y'all big into like the Second Amendment? Because I am. I used my stimulus check to get me a AR-15 before they try to make it harder and expensive too, you know?
Yeah. In short, yes. Everybody is capable here. I don't know who owns what, but in short, yeah, we are into it. We definitely support it, and we encourage people to exercise it, especially men who are an example. And women too. It's a great equalizer. Women should own and be capable.
Right. It's definitely getting more dangerous out there for them too.
Yeah, but But the laws are against us. Even if you defend yourself, the laws. Oh, yeah, and don't get caught running around with especially in California or New Jersey, don't get caught running around with a gun, or Massachusetts or Hawaii or different places. They don't respect your Second Amendment or your God-given right. But
guns for
me and not for thee.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Jake. You have a good morning, man. Thank you, and
you too.
You guys take care, and God bless.
You too, Justin. Are you black or Hispanic or what?
I could be Hispanic, but one thing I do tell people I'm American, and then I as long as people love America, and I still understand this is a society where you have to like earn your living, but that's anyways, it doesn't cover. I don't care what color your skin you are. If you love America, you're my people.
Nice.
And I don't like people that come here and wave other countries' flags.
Yeah, I know, that's so ridiculous.
It is, and it's ridiculous that we tolerate it. But,
right. And then meanwhile, people are on a witch hunt against the Confederate flag. That's an American flag.
Hey, I told my brother that. I was like, I think that's a Confederate flag, even with its history, has more of a right to hang on his land because it was made by Americans.
Right.
Other than, no other flag other than those.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Justin. It's good to hear from you. Take care.
Yeah, you too. You too, Jake. Y'all take care.
All right. Very nice. Cobra Koi 99 with a colorful chat over on trovo.live/the Hake Report. Says, Hake, things keep getting worse. I know this black lady who was a supervisor. They fired her for saying light skin to another employee. It's a shame. People just relax, people. Asmodor says, kids need to stay away from all this stuff altogether. referring to the stuff that Zach from Columbus, Ohio, the high schooler, was referring to. You don't have to say B word, A word, N word to get the Bagel Karen treatment. Covington kids, all the guy did was smirk. And they read into his eyes that he's a racist. That was a racist smirk. He was perfectly well behaved. And then his friends were like, oh, doing the tomahawk chop. Very true. Yeah, you don't even have to say B word, A word, N word. And Take Care Business Bear says, it's just a word, the Hake Report. She would have been ridiculed regardless if she said the N word or not. That's true, but it wouldn't have blown up as much had she not said the N word. And I don't mind the N word. I like the N word. I am pro N word, except that you gotta be wise. Just be wise and be sensible. Have some respect, because there are people who whether they think it's racist or not, they just don't like to hear it. Be appropriate. But she knew what she was getting into, I think. William A. 33 says, Jolly Jake. Funny. Thank you with the diamond. And King Alpha Nerd with the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/the Hake Report, says, yeah, I love Randy and Stan. I guess that's referring to that funny show that's kind of degenerate, I guess, South Park. How men used to act. Thank you, King Alpha Nerd. Referring to that, I'm sorry, I thought this was America. It's not America? Let me get to Tony in California. You all love Tony. You all know and love Tony. What's up, Tony? How are you doing?
All right, now, how are you today, Saint?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
All right, yeah, I was calling about that lady in the bagel shop.
Yeah, and I like how you called her a lady, because a lady she is.
Well, you call her a lady.
You called her a lady.
Well, I'm just saying, the female, put it that way, the female.
Now he's making it worse. All right.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Well, the thing is, I mean, in every store, especially a store that's serving food, they got a sign on the door, mask required before service. I mean,
I don't know.
Back in the day,
maybe.
Well, no. Every store, this is mandated.
You live in New York? You live in New York?
I got family in New York. Okay.
All right. I don't know if I believe you.
New York. I've been to New York recently, and every store I went into that served food, mask is required.
Isn't that terrible? It's kind of like saying whites only.
No.
Yes, it is.
Because, I mean, it wasn't terrible when the white man put signs saying only serve white.
No, it wasn't terrible.
That wasn't terrible.
No, it was not.
So that's a double standard of y'all Europeans when it comes to.
No, we're Americans. We're not Europeans. We're Americans.
No, you European. You European.
No, we're Americans.
This was Indian land. This wasn't no white land.
No, this is America.
This is America, which y'all stole. Okay.
Thank you. Rightfully so, too.
Right. Yeah.
We also bought it. We also bought it.
I know. No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
What? What you buy?
You ever heard of the Louisiana Purchase?
The Louisiana. Right.
I think we bought it from the French, right?
How did the French get it? They stole it from the Indians.
They rightfully took it. We conquered. We are conquerors.
Okay, man, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Sit down.
But the thing is, when y'all had signs up saying whites only,
yeah,
the Mexicans couldn't go there. Even the Irish couldn't even go there.
Good. They're troublemakers.
But the thing is, and then also, what's the problem with wearing the mask? Back in the day, y'all were wearing the mask. Y'all had the KKK mask on.
I know, but we didn't run around with the KKK mask. We only put the KKK mask on. Hold on. We only put the KKK hood on when we wanted to terrorize you guys and burn crosses in your yard. We didn't go around to shops wearing a mask. Give me a break. You're being silly.
What you burn in your yard?
Crosses.
Crosses.
Yeah.
Oh, the Christian cross. The Christian cross. Well, you want to terrorize.
Do you know what that symbolized?
Christianity.
You know what it symbolized when we burned it?
I just told you, Christianity.
What did it symbolize when we burned it?
Christianity.
So it was Christian when we burned the cross?
Yes.
So you should be thanking us because you're Christian.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm a human being.
Well,
bro.
I know that. You're not a
I'm a
Christian
human
anymore.
being. I'm
You're not very
I'm no
Christian
label.
because you hate whites.
I don't label myself. I don't label myself.
You hate the KKK.
I don't hate no one.
Yeah, right.
I may hate your actions, but I don't hate you as a person.
Same thing. Children
No, it's
don't.
not.
Children
No, it's
don't
not.
know the
No, it's
difference, and
I'll
neither
tell you
does
one
God.
thing. I'll tell you one thing. When the
All this
when
hate
when
the
Bible-
sin, love the sinner. No, you're
No,
you're full of hate.
No.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
not what
you.
Stop saying what you think I'm gonna say. I want the Bible to go to God. Or any you Christians, you so-called Christians, look up Romans 9:13. When God said He hated before the boy was born, He hated.
I know, but God has a right to hate. We don't.
We do
We're
too.
not God.
And we do
No, we
too.
don't.
Hey,
Nope.
Yes, we do.
No,
yes, we do, because we are in God's image. If we
God
are in
even
God's
said,
image, we got the same
hold on,
rights,
Tony.
bro.
Tony! God even said, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Thank you.
Okay, so what do that mean?
So all of this stuff about, this woman getting what she deserves. No, that's malice.
And I got one more thing, and I got to go.
All right.
You say you use pro N-word,
Yes.
but I don't see you saying nothing but the Jews and the K word. What about that?
Karen?
If somebody say the K word, I guess you'll hang up on it and ban them for life.
Which one? Karen?
Kite.
You don't
But then
say
you
that?
call 'em kite.
What the? He said
How about
kite.
that?
Kite.
Kite, yeah.
Don't.
What you want to say? Don't say that. Don't say
I know,
that.
because this is a Christian show. We don't
Yeah,
call
man,
people
go
names.
Ahead with that. Go ahead with that bogus, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
I
you
don't
said
allow
the
people.
N-word is fine.
I let it slide when Art from Ohio said the N word because blacks do get a pass on saying the N word in the general public, but I
Okay,
stopped
so-
saying it, the N word. I stopped
No,
it.
you haven't.
Yeah,
No,
I did.
You called Justin Lee Peterson
That
on
was-
his own show.
That was years ago. That was when it was okay to say
man,
it.
Go ahead, man. So what?
It was okay to say it years ago, but I stopped.
It's never okay to say it.
Of course it
Okay.
is. Give me a break. You're silly.
Okay.
This is
Okay,
America.
there you go.
I'm sorry. I thought this was
Right.
America.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
All
You're
right.
It is America.
Well, nice
With the
talking with you.
It's America. That's what it is. America. With the 3 K's behind it.
Very
Have a good
clever.
day, brother.
I never heard that before.
Well,
Thank
you
you.
heard it now. Have a good day.
All right, you too. What a mess. Malkuth X with the with the diamond says, Hake about to get himself banned again, SMH. Why? Because I pretended that I was wearing the mask, the hood or something? Anyway. I was just being silly because he's silly. What else do you do but act silly? Tony needs to forgive Mama, do the silent prayer, brush up on his scriptures if he wants to be the expert, says Sixto Rewhited. And Biden is urging the Supreme Court, says Sixto Rewhited on the streamlabs.com/the Hake Report, to allow feds and cops to enter homes and seize guns without warrants. Assault weapons and high-capacity magazines will be included in these raids. Direct Fourth Amendment violation and pure evil. And you know what they call about high-capacity magazines? They're standard capacity magazines. You know the Glock, right? The Glock carries 15 rounds normally. But here in California, they restrict it to 10 rounds. Did you know that? And in New York City, I think what they were trying to do, I overheard years back, they said that you have to have only 7 rounds. So if you have a 10-round magazine, that's considered a high-capacity magazine. Talk about commies. Crazy. Oh, by the way, you guys who hate me for my beautiful music, Soul Junk, I got a text from Big Bump. Remember when I played Unk's Funk Slag Collision? He said, again, that sounds like real hip-hop. And he says, I never heard of Soul Junk until you introduced them on the show. Any true hip-hop head would like them 100 times better than anything currently playing on terrestrial radio! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Thank you. Very nice. Joel, are you a true hip-hop head or do you hate Soul Junk?
No, I mean, I've said it multiple times, even when you asked me on the show. This music is a lot better than the average Christian rap that you hear nowadays.
Yeah.
It's more genuine and it sounds better. It's better quality. So
Nice. A true hip hop head.
Big Bump knows.
Yeah. Tony gets the America from the Nation of Islam. Don't give that full credit. It's been around for decades. Even Tupac used to use it. Wow, Tupac did? Aw. Yeah, no, I'm playing around. I knew that it's been around. I said, ooh, so original. Okay. So eat it, soul junk haters. Nah, I still like you, though. It's totally fun.
Well, James, you obviously know real hip-hop, too. The fact that you have these songs from way back when that you still...
Yeah, I loved Soul Junk. And it's funny because that guy is actually white, but he takes on like a black vernacular.
Oh, he's white?
Yeah, I think that guy's white.
Known he was white.
Glenn Galloway. Funny. Tony is a ban, B-A-N, and should be banned, says Shaggy Boy. Ooh, that's harsh. Conquest is how nations are built, says Asmodor. Tony doesn't understand that nations aren't created by squatting. Yeah. Good point. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Man, there was something else. Oh, well, let me get to calls. Thomas in Oklahoma was flagged. Thomas on Instagram. What's up, Thomas? How are you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing, Hake?
Doing fine. Thank you.
So, yeah, Instagram. I followed this page called The Neighborhood Talk, and it's basically a bunch of degenerate black stuff.
In other words, it's highly entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always comment on there, my true feelings and stuff and call out the black community,
Okay.
And they've been posting up lately, how great Cardi B is. And they called her, they're calling her queen.
Right. No, the real queen is the Bagel Queen that people falsely call Karen.
That's funny.
I'm joking around a little bit, but I respect her spunk. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, that real quick, that's definitely chick. Yeah, she was kind of out of line, but I don't think there's anything wrong with her using the N-word. I mean, that guy was being a jerk, and she was, being a jerk back. So
yeah.
But she was kind of her tone of voice was kind of egotistical. I don't know.
Yeah, it's trying to get under his skin. She's like, I called you the N-word. I said it. Yeah.
But anyway, so Instagram. So I posted up on there, about Cardi B. I was like, this is who you call a queen. Like no wonder your community's failing and you have so many single baby mamas and stuff.
Yeah.
And so this one girl replied to me, black girl with queen in her Instagram tag. And she goes off on me, like, blah, blah, blah. She went up from nothing, and now she's successful. And she hated on white people, saying, you guys can't stop shooting up places. And she mentioned the grocery store, right, shooter?
That's funny.
That Muslim terrorist from Syria?
Yeah.
And so I replied with, that was a Arabic Muslim idiot.
Uh-huh.
And Instagram flagged it and said, this comment looks like others we have banned.
Oh, interesting. So,
yeah.
So it was like an automated filter that they didn't even hand do it. They just did it. They just flagged it automatically.
Right. I guess just because it said Arabic Muslim in it. I don't know.
Interesting. Wow.
And yeah, and here's another quick story. I got to get back to work, but okay. I got one more quick story. I'm leaving for work today, and I tell my roommate, I had a package stolen from Amazon, and I recently moved into a neighborhood that has a lot of blacks.
Yeah.
And there's some black kids that ding-dong ditched me like a week ago, and it was like in the middle of the day, and I was like, hey, y'all ain't got a ball to throw around or nothing? They're like, no, we don't. I'm like, terrible parents. I'm thinking, they're not even giving stuff for their kids to do outside.
Yeah.
And so, sorry, we were bored. And I was like, all right, we'll come by tomorrow and I'll have a football for y'all.
Oh, you're nice.
Turn the other cheek. So I'm driving back to the neighborhood the next day, and I see the kids on the side of the road. And it was before the time I was going to have them come to my house to get the football. So I had it in the car. I was like, hey, you want the football now? They're like, yeah. Like, man, this thing's clean, Yeah, just a little cheap football, ESPN football from Walmart, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so I get home and I had a package. It was a little air purifier, and the box was kind of the size a football could be in, and it was ripped open, and nothing was taken out.
Oh.
And then the kid stopped by the next day and thanked me for the football, and I called him out. I was like, hey, did y'all get my package? Like, oh, what package? I was like, don't lie to me. And they're like, yeah, sorry. And I was like, listen, y'all can't be doing that. You're going to get the cops called on you, get shot or something,
Right.
Like, no, we're too little to get the cops called on us.
Oh, man, that's so bad that they know that. Wow.
Yeah. And so this is like a week later now, and I ordered a cell phone case from Amazon, and I get home, and the package is ripped open, and the cell phone case is gone out of it. I don't know if somebody thought it was an actual cell phone or what.
Yeah.
But unless they have the same phone as me and they're going to have any use for it, it's not that expensive. But I just thought it was weird. And then so I'm leaving for work today, and I was talking to my roommate about it, and I was like, I don't want to think it's those black kids, but if somebody did steal it, it's probably a black person.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's racist.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, how's it racist? He's like, you can't just assume it's a black person. I was like, well, if I was going to place a bet, I'd probably bet that it was a black person.
Right.
Because we live in an area with a lot of black people, and black people commit more crimes,
Yeah.
And so, and then, I basically had to explain it to him how it wasn't racist, like, man, it's not racist. It's just logical. I don't hate black people. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Most likely it was probably a black.
Yep. And did he ever understand?
Yeah, he kind of understood, but he still, like, we just live in a society that everyone just gets offended when you say anything kind of edgy like that. You can't talk about race anymore.
Yeah.
Or color. No, it's not even race. I don't like using the word race.
Yeah, I mean,
because we're all the human race.
I don't know, but yeah, it's silly. But be careful. Be careful out there. You might ask your little friends if they saw anybody, but press them on it if you have the kind of relationship that you can, because that's not a good situation. Maybe you can get like do they leave things at P.O. boxes? Maybe you can get a P.O. box, because that's not a manageable situation. Although maybe you should start boycotting Amazon and find a local place. Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Amazon's just convenient, man.
Yeah.
I get a discounted membership with them too. But anyways, that was my little story.
Well, I appreciate it, Thomas. Good stories. Take care, man. Be careful out there.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good day.
All right.
All right. I will do.
All right. Wow. King Alpha Nerd says, so when I used to play WWE games, which formerly known as WWF, I believe, World Wrestling Entertainment, World Wrestling Federation, I would give my created wrestler the RKO finisher and call it the Ban Cutter. Fun times. Interesting. BAN. And Malkuth X asks, Hake, what do wet blacks smell like to you? I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer that. Clean, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. Art in Ohio. How are you doing, Art?
Hey, I'm all right. How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you. It's good to hear from you.
Well, let's. So the dude said he don't have no problem with old girl saying that N word or whatnot. The dude saying whatever he said to her. Well, that's what happens with two liberals and when you being evil.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that she called the N word.
Yeah,
he said something like, "I'm not bothered," or "It doesn't affect me," something like that.
Well, they both. Well, he got a female mindset, and she got the liberal mindset, and just like he's being antagonistic. That's a female trait. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he got the same energy that he put out. You know what I mean? And as far as Tony and Phony and Tony saying that you said the N word to Jesse or whatnot. Well, I mean, if it was 4 years ago, you ain't doing it now.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that just shows the progression in you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And,
I'm more mature now.
Exactly.
And Jesse stopped stealing from me.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what that's about, but yeah.
Right. But using the N word isn't liberal. Why are you calling her a liberal again?
Well, it is liberal, because if I walk up to somebody that I don't know or whatnot, or if I do know them or that is being dumb, that don't mean that I be dumb back and call them fat just because they fat. That's disrespectful and slow. That's that, you know. And
so by liberal you mean just disrespectful?
Yeah, I mean, that's a liberal mindset. Who goes around there acting just because you, the bank, the person who worked with handling the money or whatnot, the cashier, just because he's being childish and liberal don't mean you swoop down and be liberal right with him. If we can just start doing that, why don't I just, you know, it's a downhill slope. You see what I'm saying? It's a tit for tat.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? If somebody's like, if one person goes low, you like, well, I'm gonna go lower. You
right.
see what I'm saying?
Right. That's so, you might have a point there. I mean, to me, it felt like she was a little too into being this activist woman.
Yeah. Well, hold up. Let me give you another example.
All right.
Let me give you another example. I break your little rear view mirror, and you just go ahead and crash your car into my whole car. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's just going to keep getting worse. So you can't, somebody has to be the bigger person. That's what I'm saying. Only a female thinks that, I'm just going to go around here and mess the window up since they messed my door handle up. You know what I mean? That's kid stuff.
Right.
And I might not agree with her actions and what she did, but I don't still think that that's right, that they should be trying to take her kids or kids away from her. Did I hear that's right?
Yeah, they're calling CPS on her. They're threatening her and her mother. They found her mother somehow. They doxed her.
Liberals.
Yep. They're sharing her Instagram, and her Instagram has her whole name in it. What a mess.
The same people she used to hang out with, the so-called used to be her friends, is the same people that's coming for
right.
Liberals going against liberals, and it ain't right. Because the problem is, it's all cool and it's all fun and everything's all funny and stuff until it's happening to them. Then they up here screaming, "Oh, they being sexist, that they're oppressing the females and this and this and this and that." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then with your dude, Zach, man, I got to give him a shout out, man, because just listening to him tell them little stories, it's just a perfect illustration how far the black females and the females in Ohio have fell down.
Yeah.
They actually think it's a good thing to be disrespectful. They think it's actually a good thing to be in front of the man, meaning the head. They think it's actually a good thing for them to be making more money than the man. You see what I'm saying? They actually think it's just crazy. The things that they think is good is actually bad.
Yep.
You see, you know what I mean? It's just so crazy how they try to put Harriet Tubman on a pedestal, talking about she led the slaves up to the north to free them from slavery. Well, if I got any type of logic. And keep in mind, Ohio was one of the places where I guess she came through, and it was a lot of underground railroads allegedly around in this area. So if she led, and a lot of the Negroes stopped here in Ohio because they didn't want to keep traveling up to Canada or whatnot. So long story short, if I'm just analyzing, looking back to it now in 2020, she didn't do nothing but lead us into a worse situation.
Yep.
And it shows you what's going on right now in the course and how they got everything set up in Columbus or whatnot with the programs, everything set out to put the female in that leadership position. And I just go to say that about Harriet Tubman because it was the blueprint. It was the blueprint of what's going on in 2021. You see what I'm saying? But they try to put it out there like she really was helping. When she couldn't have been helped because if this is the product of what she led people out of slavery into in 2021, she couldn't have been for the right cause.
That's an interesting point. The South is way better today than the North is today. The country is better today than the cities are today. Even Jesse Lee Peterson, back when he was a kid, he went to Gary, Indiana. He came back to the country, to Alabama, because the blacks were so out of control when Gary got its first black mayor. The blacks started going crazy against the whites, and they were so criminal over there in the cities in the North, basically the North, right?
Yeah.
I think you have a point. Somebody has a question for you. Asmodor says, does Art think an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth is liberal? And he has a quote for you from John Wayne, the shootist, in the shootist. It says, I won't be wronged. I won't be insulted. I won't be laid a hand on. I don't do these things to other people, and I require the same from them. What would you say to that?
Well, I say it depends on certain things. It depends on certain things. It just words and actions are two different things. So it just depends on which scenario it falls under. Because sometimes you can keep trying to turn the other cheek and let stuff leave stuff alone. And people, it's the bully in school. If you keep letting him take your change, he's gonna keep doing it. But as soon as you give him a good punch in the mouth, all that'll chill out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just depends on what it depends on what it is.
All right.
Sometimes you have to take drastic measures just to let people know not to cross you. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Very true. Thank you, Art. It's good to hear from you.
One more thing.
Real fast. Yeah, go for it.
Your man Austin 316 said Joe Biden didn't used to be a liberal because he said that he didn't want segregation and integrate the kids. And my thing is this: Joe Biden's always been a beta liberal. He was the one that broke up the black families. I know, even though they were selling drugs, he's the one that pushed that predator, to which made the he pushed the narrative for single parent households, which when there's a number of females, that turns the kids into beta, so that makes them disrespectful. Yeah. And that's the reason why he don't want his kids going to school with our kids, because he know a lot of them want to fight, they don't like to learn, and they're over aggressive. But that came from the policy that he pushed. So Austin 316, you need to look and figure out the cause and effect of things, and that's the bottom line, because Art said so.
All right. Appreciate it, Art. Good to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Very nice. Let me get to Teresa in Texas. We're coming up in the last minute here. I will be opening the treasure chest in like a minute or so. Teresa in Texas. Thanks for calling and holding. What's up?
Hey, Hank, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
Well, I had like two small comments. I know we're running close on time.
You're fine.
But
yeah, go for it.
One of them was the Karen thing. I've kind of figured it out. This is just me, though. The slur upon white women that they use Karen for? Yeah. It's a virtual signal.
Yeah.
Because what they're saying is, I care, like Karen, I'm caring about you.
Oh.
You get it?
So are you referring to the women who they call Karens, or are you referring to the people who call these people Karens?
Kind of a little bit of both. It's kind of like a sarcastic statement.
Yeah.
When they call them that, but they feel like Karens, like they're caring about somebody, so they're just trying to help.
Or they're caring about their community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was that. I'll get that out of the way.
You might be right.
Okay, so,
interesting theory.
So the other one was about the bagel girl, Stephanie.
Yeah. You heard her call yesterday?
Yeah.
All right.
So I was with her because I have a medical exemption as well, and I have never worn a mask. Never had a problem either.
Right on.
Now,
in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Texas, and they ask me, and if I say, if I say I have a medical exemption, they say, oh, okay, and I just keep walking.
Right. They one of them tried to ask her what it was, and she's like, I don't have to tell you.
Well, I was listening to that. Now, me, myself, sometimes I don't have a problem with telling my medical exemption.
Yeah.
Because in a way, sometimes it has something to do with anxiety, but sometimes I can flip it on them because I'll just flip it on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, they're like, oh, okay, no problem, and stuff like that. And so they go on.
Right.
But I've never really had anybody only had one incident where, and it was strictly because I'm Caucasian.
Yeah.
And And the girl said something to me about wearing a mask after I've been in there for a whole year without wearing a mask. Talked to the management. They knew who I was, so they didn't have a problem with it. It's just some new girl got there, and she felt like she wanted to assert her authority, or whatever like that. And so, she made the comment, well, your privilege isn't going to get you by anymore.
Cringe.
And I was like, excuse me? What does that have to do with a mask? I was like, okay, no problem. And so I turned around and walked out.
Wow.
Went and immediately, because I do know my right to having a medical exemption, went immediately, did my little report to the Department of Justice, let them handle it.
Okay.
And then
the state DOJ?
Yes.
Okay.
The state DOJ, because if you have medical exemption, they can't accost you like that.
Right. And she racially profiled you.
Year. Exactly. And so, then right after that, first I filed with the Department of Justice. And then I didn't get angry, thank God.
Did you tell the manager?
And then the next day, because it happened on a Sunday, the very next morning, I called not the management, I called the company.
Oh, cool.
Because the management, I already knew the management. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the management had no problem with me being there.
Right.
Who happened to be black.
Yeah.
And and it is just really funny because my son is biracial.
Why does it always happen to women who get with blacks?
Right. Well, I mean, he's a grown man now, but
right.
I mean, it's just funny that, you don't never know who you're talking to.
I know.
Sitting there saying I'm racist and stuff like that. Excuse me?
Yeah.
My son is black, but, I'm not going to tell you that. It ain't none of your business.
Right. Now you're talking black. That's funny.
Yeah, that's right. It ain't none of your business, but anyways.
That's funny.
The part that got me is whenever she did, she was fine up until the point to where she went down to his level and called him the BAM.
Right.
But if she was
I wonder if she
up to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. She was. It's interesting, Teresa. Joelle says you're black too. Your skin is just white.
I don't know what you want to go. I'm just human. I'm Teresa. That's who I am.
Well, I appreciate the stories, Teresa. I wish you well. Good luck with that.
You too.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. Let me shout out the top contributors: Dan East, Malkuth X, Penny Rue over there on D Live, and Based AF, Based America First, Brandon M, Cheesehead69, Noah's Ark, Kansas, as well as the other D Live people: William A33, Blazing Hogs, Fluky Unicorn, Beta Legs, Noah's Ark, Kansas, Kid Combo, Chief Og, and of course the supporters over there on Streamlabs, including Sixto Rewhited, King Alpha Nerd, and BNN Watchdog. Thank you guys, and congrats to the people over there on the treasure chest people: Kid Combo, formerly known as Kid Combo 187, Mo Betta Stand Up, Fluky Unicorn, Ricky Retardo, William A33. Thank you guys for the support. Congrats for the redistribution of lemons, the Obama chest. The HakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for all things JLP. From there you can find the Bond website. It is under maintenance, but we're fixing it, so fret not. And see you tomorrow, hopefully, right? TheHakeReport.com. Thanks, guys. Take care.
What?